Hey everybody, welcome back to Jay and Nicole's Learning Lab. Today we're going to do something a little bit differently. We're going to kind of do a recap, kind of an end of year recap of what we've done so far, what we've learned, and probably what the future looks like, because we do have plans to really change things up next year.
I think it's been a great experience, and I've really enjoyed this new venture that we've done together. I think we really work well together. Um, but yeah, I know, like it was so funny when we first started, kind of just wung it a bit,
I had
and
no idea what we were doing.
I know,
You
right?
know,
It was just like,
we
yeah, let's
took
start.
we took the we took the opinion of or the strategy of, well, we don't know what we don't know yet, you know, and turns out we didn't know a lot.
Well, and then me, the overthinker, I had to pull back and just do like basic outlines of what we thought we would want to do.
Right.
And you were like, let's start now.
Right. Let's go. Let's go. I'm ready.
Oh my goodness. Um, I don't know. So, what do you think was the biggest challenge that we had?
You know, um, honestly, I thought, and I think it's going to really become more challenging as we go, is finding the right guests. It's very difficult to find the right person. We have
Right.
an idea of what we want, but we never get exactly what we want because, we're creating a utopia in our mind of what we want, and we're not always getting that. But I will say, I have enjoyed talking to everybody, and I found it really interesting. Who was who do you think was our funniest guest?
I want to say Xavier.
Really?
I liked
Hi.
him a lot, really. I mean,
He
not
was
the
cool.
funniest guest. Okay, Brenda was hilarious.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Hands
Like,
down.
if we're gonna talk about haha funny, that's Brenda.
Yeah.
The one I enjoyed the most actually ended up being the last one, Xavier. I just really liked picking his mind and listening to what he
Uh-huh.
had to say. So I thought he was like extremely informative. So I guess
Right.
from my analytical side, I found that, I just loved the way that he described everything and was prepared, and he really knew what he was talking about. And
Sure.
we had a couple outtakes, of course, but it
Right.
was I
They
really
didn't get
enjoyed.
edited out, by the way.
Oh,
They
they
were all
didn't?
in there.
Oh,
I
I
left
didn't
it
see the
all in
whole
there.
thing because I got busy. Are they all in there? That's awesome. I love that. Real as real can be, right? Um,
Because he's kind of like the top guy in this area of ed tech that we looked at. He's kind of the top guy, I would think.
yeah, he is, but I like the way he came across, like
Hmm.
very real, very down to earth, he's still very much in the startup entrepreneurial mindset of willing
Hmm.
to help out and help others succeed as well, not just himself. Like he gave us
Right.
some really great ideas for some future podcasts. So I really, enjoyment wise, analytical business side, I really enjoyed his podcast. Haha, funny. That's Brenda.
Hands down. Now, I will tell you on the opposite end of that spectrum, we
Mm,
had the kind of the new kid on the block. We had Yan from Fun Class, and I found her really refreshing,
yeah.
and I think she has a great mindset.
Hmm.
And especially because every time I send her an idea, she says it's already in the works. So I feel like I have nothing to offer her because she's already working on it. But it was really interesting to hear what the new kid on the block has planned, and I thought both of them did a
Hmm.
very good job of differentiating themselves. Because I don't think, right now at least, I don't think they're going to appeal to the same types of students right now.
I agree. I,
I think they're very
I
different.
yeah, I enjoyed Yan a lot as well. She was very nice, very very polite, very nice, and
Yeah.
she also came very prepared, and she knew
Well
exactly.
prepared.
She was very prepared, and
Yeah.
she knew exactly what she was talking about. She had very defined goals and
Mhm.
examples. So I thought that she did very well explaining her product as well with Fun Class. Xavier was, Koala Go.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I agree. And to the point where it actually they convinced me both to go and look at their stuff.
Right.
So I do feel that yeah, she is the new kid on the block. So I do feel that she has a little bit of catching up to do.
Right.
But I do think she's on her way, and I think she is going to be very successful because even I'll admit, and I'm techie, okay? So I'll admit, I was like, co-browser. What's a co-browser? Why have I not heard about a co-browser? Like for real, you don't see it anywhere. You don't see it
Right.
just listed. So I was like, how did I miss this? And
Why is this a big deal? Right.
right? What rock have I been under, right? For me not to
Right.
know this, because I do, you know me, I have a lot of tech that I use when I teach. So I'm like, how do I not? What? I thought they were talking about some type of like, you know, how DMs went to, or PMs, went to PMs, direct message
Mhm.
became private message or whatever. And it's the same thing. And I'm like, did they change the name of screen share? I'm like,
Right. Right.
that's what I thought. Oh, so personally, now that I know what a co-browser is, I think that's going to really change the face of education. I
Yeah.
think that's something we need to talk about.
And that leads right into one of
Katie.
our other guests, Katie. Katie and Brenda, actually, both of
Yeah.
them, actually.
Hmm.
They both offer interactive lessons that you can use inside the co-browser. The kids can click and drag, and
Yeah, not just
sometimes you
write
got to,
like screen sharing,
right,
right? Actually
exactly,
click and activate the buttons.
right, right. And Katie, uh, you know, I was a little surprised she jumped right up and said, I want to be on the podcast. I was really surprised because I just posted that openly on Facebook. And because I've always viewed Katie as being way up here, and we're still a little tiny podcast way down here.
Right?
I was really surprised. Um, and I was glad we had her on. I want to bring her back for sure because I think she has a lot more to offer than what we covered in that podcast.
Completely,
Yeah.
completely. Actually, there's a couple, even Xavier and Yan. I think there's a couple of them we need to bring them back and let them maybe delve a little bit deeper into what they offer and how they help the not only the online education
Mhm.
field in itself, but the teachers and parents specifically or
What about
clients.
like, what do you think about like a community-based podcast where we bring both of them on? And we're not really necessarily talking about their product, but how,
Roundtable.
yeah, kind of something like that where we can kind of discuss this area of the industry and how ed tech can really help teachers in the future. What's coming?
I think it's
Not
a
necessarily a
fantastic idea.
product podcast. Not necessarily I don't want to have a brawl between
Oh yeah,
Xavier
no,
and Yan.
no. Well, I think it's a great idea because there's also some other platforms that we might be able to get on, maybe
Mhm.
somebody from Class In or something like that.
You know, I talked
Cambly?
to somebody about Class In, about this roundtable, about trying to bring them on. And they said, Class In's kind of like a faceless company. I don't really know who to contact. There's nothing on their webpage about
Oh,
who the
that's a good
people
point.
are. The only thing, I guess I could research them on LinkedIn, but I just
Maybe.
haven't done that yet. Um,
But I do agree. I think we should do maybe more than one, but for different purposes. For example,
yeah.
not bring Katie in on that one, but like Katie and Brenda and somebody else for the
Yes, yes.
material side
Mhm.
roundtable and then like a platform side roundtable. Um, yeah, I think that would be interesting. I know that on the horizon for us is that we want to do one about mental health for
Yeah, boy, I
teachers.
really want to do that
I
one.
want to do
I
that one as a
really,
roundtable, to be honest. I want to bring on a couple teachers, maybe those who have dealt with it, and maybe
Mhm.
others who are on the flip side who are our teachers, but maybe also have some type of background in servicing that area.
Right, somebody that knows, that has some experience in helping people
Yeah.
helping teachers work through the mental health issues. I would love to do that. It's so hard to find that person though.
Yeah, right. The other one that I think we talked about, that's another one I wanted to talk about, is the prejudices that teachers face
Discrimination,
online,
yes,
discrimination
yes.
between, what's considered a native and non-native country, and
Mhm.
also not just that, but
Skin color.
I'll just throw it out there, skin color,
Yep, yep.
you know, race
I
color.
think and shame on me, I didn't realize that was still a problem, but it is.
I didn't I didn't realize it was such a large problem.
Right,
I
right,
I, I knew it was, but I really underestimated how big and how wide it was.
right. I thought that was a thing of 10 years ago.
Well, even more than that, but I mean, I knew it was an issue. It's just I didn't realize how significant, I guess is the word, and how
I,
difficult. I mean,
I see.
even in my own company, Teacher Cole's English Corner, like, I have teachers and I have
Mhm.
hired not only other nationalities, but I've
Sure.
hired people of other ethnicities, and they are the teachers I have never been able to get lessons for, except for one.
Right.
And it was literally the same response I got
Mhm.
from
And
clients.
the delicate issue there that we can't ignore it
Mm.
is that companies they want to bring on teachers that the students' parents will accept as a teacher. In a lot of the countries where online teaching is a big thing, they're not every parent is open to that. And how
Yeah,
do you change that mentality? I don't know that we can. Maybe I'm wrong.
I know, and the difficult thing is that I've bulked against it, but I hired, and
Mhm.
they were wonderful, amazing, well-educated teachers. To be
Sure.
honest, I mean, quite frankly, I mean, I was shocked that nobody would grab them just because of their credentials.
Hmm.
I mean, they're well above my credentials, and I was very shocked by that because I was just like, well, who cares what they look like? They are extremely well educated and more
Right.
than qualified, and the price you're getting them for with the level of education they have is just a steal. Um, it was very eye-opening for me. I was very
Mhm.
shocked. Really, I was.
Now we're moving into 2025. Are we going to start the new year as a new season, or are we going to continue with season one? What do you think?
I don't know. I have different views on that because I think this has been a great learning experience, and
Yeah,
and so I don't know if we want to start like with a new year, new approach, new season,
mhm.
and just do like half yearly seasons, like
That's
cut off
fine. I'm
normally.
I'm open to anything, to be
Yeah,
honest
me
with you.
too.
Um,
We'll have to
I
think
am
on it.
looking forward to, we're going to do a series of episodes on the business side of this.
Yeah.
So that's going to mostly appeal to the teachers. Um,
Yeah, January has been
and
set as a business coaching month. Yeah.
right. Um, and one person that we have scheduled, I'm not going to drop her name now, but I'm really excited to have her. Um,
Oh, and I have another one. Remember the one that we share? We're not going to drop names because I don't want people
right.
to know yet, right?
Right, right, right.
I
That
do
one.
also, what I want to focus on is I think that we should do an end of the month, just you and me.
Yeah, in addition to whatever we're doing. Yeah, I
Mm.
think that's a
I
good
think we should do a
idea.
monthly recap because I do like that we've set up, I think that original plan of like 1 month parent topic centered, another
Mhm.
month teacher centered, and then business centered, or even moving the business in between the teacher and parent, maybe to put a gap in
I think
between.
weaving them all together instead of having blocks of this, I I actually I think I prefer that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of open to anything. I don't know. But also in the business month, I want to try and bring on an agent from China.
Ooh, that's a good
Um,
one.
because I get a lot of messages, people looking for agents in China, and how do you find them? And then, people aren't very giving of their agents. You know, like I have a couple, but I've shared them with you and other
Mm,
people. And I don't mind doing that at all. I did tell the other agent that you aren't connected with yet. I did tell him that we would keep his contact information private because I know he'll get inundated
uh,
with messages. And he probably doesn't want or need that right now.
Probably
Um,
not. Yeah, I've
um,
used the agents as well. Not all agents are created equal.
that's
I will
right.
say
That's
that.
right.
Some are great and others,
Do
well,
you, do you think do you think Judy would come on?
I would like to see her on. She was quite nice. I mean, she did a face to face with me.
Mhm.
I think she would do very well, to be honest. I think she also pays decently.
For yeah, for what people, yeah. And especially you don't really, all you have to do is teach. She gives you material, you don't have to do memos, nothing. She
Yeah.
teach, all you have to do is teach, and she pays religiously every week.
Yeah, I've not had a problem. And like even just this last week, we discussed like what the hours were. And, if there's a discrepancy, you tell her and you just show her your calendar. She's like, okay. I
Yep.
mean, like it really hasn't, I haven't had any issues with her. I've actually had nothing but good
Yeah.
interactions with her. So I think she'd be a good one. Yeah.
She's a little stiff sometimes when you talk to her, but Arr.
I've been pleasantly surprised by her, to be honest. So I think she'd be a
She's all
good
right.
one.
I wouldn't have recommended her to anybody if she was a bad agent. I don't do that.
I'm
Um,
trying to think. But yeah, I
I
think
only
people you'd be
recommend
interested.
agents to people that I've actually used. I don't recommend
You
any
know what?
other agent.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I would like to see? I have to talk, but I would like to see like one or two episodes with the actual kids.
Yeah, we talked about that, getting a
Yeah.
group of our collective students together.
Hmm.
The problem is getting them all available at the same time.
I know, right? It'd probably
Yeah.
have to be like a weekend one or
Yeah.
something where, you know, but
And
I
be
would like,
prepared for pure pandemonium,
oh,
pure
I know,
chaos.
right? But I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I do too. I do too. I would enjoy that a lot, actually.
And I
I
would
would
like to
enjoy.
bring on maybe a couple of my parents and a couple of your parents.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
would
think
as well.
I think
Um,
maybe that might be a direction for us. Maybe once a month, one of our podcasts is a roundtable. Like we open the month
could
with
do
a
that.
roundtable, or we end the month with open the month with a roundtable, end the month with us wrapping up, and the middle two are the topic for the month.
Mhm. That would work.
That
That
would
would
work.
work for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Hmm.
think I've discussed it with a few parents and they were very open to it. They wanted to bring their kid on at the same time, which is fine, which
That's
is
fine.
fine.
Why
You
not?
know, I know the kid, so it's not a problem.
I think it's
Not a
something
problem.
different. Yeah, I think that would be good. I did like the myth thing though, but I think I'm going to have to, like I said, we didn't know what we were doing, right?
Right, right.
So,
The
now that we know, and we're going to be a little bit more. I did like the outlines that we did; they were very simple, gave us a minimal direction. I still like the myth though. I don't know, but I think
maybe don't call it a myth. Maybe call it maybe like some sort of overarching question.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking instead of like maybe making it a myth itself, but I also want to wait until I create it until we know who's coming.
Mhm. Now, oh, I forgot. We also had two other podcasts, one from uh, Teacher Nash,
Nash. Yep.
which I really liked talking to her. This was about, we talked about different learning styles, and I learned a lot from that. And then we also talked a bit with Lysandra from South Africa, or Chris,
Mm-mm. Yes.
from about parent-teacher collaboration, which boy, I can't tell you how important I think that is for independent teachers, especially. If you don't make that connection with the parent, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle.
We're going to struggle for multiple reasons. And that's why I think it's so important. You're going to struggle
Mhm,
not only with retaining, so financially, business wise, you'll struggle, right?
mhm.
You'll struggle with the student because, well, let's just be real. Just like my own children will play mom against dad. Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
there's just how that is. But you're supposed to be on the same team. And sometimes, for the most part, to be honest, I have extremely good relationships with my parents. Like
Mhm,
I've been most of my students I've had for well above 4 years, 4 or 5 years. The longest is 6 years. The shortest has been like 3.5, almost 4 years. I
mhm.
mean, that's why my schedule's been closed for almost 3 years. I'm just now opening it back up again because some of them are aging out, right?
Right.
Moving on to other things. Um, but I have had in the past, and I'm sure you have, where there's been a miscommunication between the parent
Oh
and
yeah.
myself on
Oh yeah.
what our roles are.
Right.
When I say that is I am not the paid servant.
Right. Right. I'm not at your beck and call. I'm
I
not
hate
at
to
your
say
beck
it
and
that
call.
way. I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds rude, but I think that there's a misunderstanding of, I am a paid professional
Right.
that you have hired. Let me do my professional work. We are a team supporting each other. The
We have the
parent
same
is
goal.
not,
We
we
have
have
the
the
same
same
goal.
goal. Like,
Right.
you're not better than me and I'm not better than you. We are a team. We are working at this
Right.
together. You are servicing the at home side and I am servicing the educational side. And together we have to figure out how to bring it together. And I think sometimes there's a real huge miscommunication there.
Yep. I do too. I do too.
I've
Um,
had clients I've had to.
so anyways, I didn't mean to distract you. We were talking about the business month.
No, that was
Um,
cool. I no, but I think
um,
it's important though. I think everything that we've talked about has taught us something about what we're going to do
yeah.
in the future.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a great, it's only been what, seven? Have we only done seven?
Seven. Yeah, the first one shouldn't even really count. We had no idea what we were doing. It was
Whatever.
just you and I. It was fun though. I got to tell you, I have enjoyed doing every one of these. It's like, I'm running out of time and I have to cut some things out, but this is something that I won't cut out because I really like doing it. Um, it's caused me to open up more
Mm,
to other people on social media. I've met a lot of new people in the past 6 or 7
yeah,
weeks.
that's on my schedule as
Um,
well.
it's really opened me up, and that's been really helpful for me. I've been able to take something away from every one of these people, especially Brenda. She's so funny. Oh my
She was
gosh.
hilarious. I think she has a lot more to give. I think we got to bring her back, and Katie. I would like to see her and Katie in the same podcast.
So would I. So would I.
Maybe Jillian.
With Jillian fits in a lot of different ones.
She
She
fits in a
she
lot of
can do a
baskets,
lot
doesn't
of
she?
different ones. Yeah, she covers a lot of different ones. When I talked to her about it, she particularly highlighted one of the business episodes she wanted to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I think it
definitely.
was I think it was number 12. I know nobody can see our schedule, but we can. Um I think it was number 12.
Number 12. What's
Uh
that one? What's that?
no, not that one. It was oh, I think it was the one scheduled for the 9th of January, I think. I have to look at my notes
Ah, that's
later.
11.
Yeah,
Mindset breakthroughs for business success, I think. Something like that.
yeah,
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
that was her.
All
Or
right.
it could have been, actually, it could have been the one on the episode 12. It could have been either one. Doesn't really
Do your
matter. We'll
thing.
get her in one. We'll adjust it as needed.
Well, we're going to
Um,
have to adjust some of these because we're going to be taking, which is the point of us here today, is to do a recap. We're going to take the rest of the year off because we both have
right.
family commitments. My family's flying in on this weekend for the holidays, and you've got family commitments. And I think it's really important that we honor those type of things to show
Yeah.
parents, teachers, and students
It,
that we should take time off.
and that contributes directly to your mental health.
Yep, exactly.
And shame on me. I have not always done that. Um, but we're doing that now. I haven't even started my Christmas shopping yet, have you? Nope.
Okay, I was gonna tease you and be like, man, that's a stereotypical man thing to do. But I actually, yes, I did. I forgot. They're under the bed. I
One pair of socks does not
Yeah,
mean you've started your Christmas shopping.
no, it doesn't. But remember, my kids are all out of the house now and back home in the
Mhm.
US. So I don't
Right.
have to that level of shopping anymore. And we moved, so the rest of our actual Filipino family is up north. So
Uh,
I'm I don't have, but I did. I remember I'm going to tell you. Everybody, now you get to know. So I did buy this really cool thing on Shopee. It was like a bench, but also has for the shoes, right? So you can sit down, right? But it was bamboo, and I was at 100% disclaimer. I was expecting it to be something I had to throw away, and it was really cheap. It was on sale, and I took a shot in the dark and bought three of them. And when I put it together, it has been the best purchase I've ever bought off of Shopee in my life. It's real bamboo, had real screws with Allen wrenches and everything. So two of them were actually gifts.
You,
And it
you
has
know,
design on it and everything. It's awesome.
the best purchase I've made here cost me 150 pesos, which is about $3. And it's these little legs I can attach to the bottom of my laptop to elevate the back of
I've got a little
it.
portable stand too. I think I
Yeah, I
got
don't
it.
need a stand. These are two little legs. They're about this big each, and I can flip them up or put them down. Like it
Yeah,
works similar to like a kickstand on a keyboard. Works
yeah.
similar to
I've got the little stand,
anyways.
but I think mine was like when you buy so much, you get something for free or something like that.
Mhm.
That's what it was. And I was like, hey, it works great. I love it.
Speaking of that, I do want to work in an episode where we kind of talk about a
Equipment,
teacher's tech setup, yeah,
equipment.
equipment, all of that. I cannot stress the importance of that.
I think we should do a couple episodes on it. I think we should do an episode on like getting started equipment
Mhm.
and then like the advanced teacher and then maybe like the teacher who lives in the Brownout Central, like me. And
Right.
like I call it the
Yeah.
technology challenged location.
Right. Right. Right.
I love where I live, don't get me wrong. I love it, but
Mhm.
I definitely have a completely different setup than some people just because, I have brownouts and
Mhm.
we have, interruptions with the internet and things like that. So I have like my dream setup,
Right.
and then I have my setup when there's no power.
You could, we could each kind of even show our setups. Like
Oh
in,
yeah, because I can join
yeah,
twice. I have my tablet, so you can join from my tablet also twice to show.
or your phone. You can
Yeah,
do it
that
from your
too.
phone too.
Tablet's got a
But
good camera. But anyways, yeah. No, I have yeah. Also the advantages of having a separate workspace and
yeah.
being in the family. So and starting on a shoestring, which I did. I started
Mhm.
on a massive shoestring, big time
Oh, you and
secondhand
me.
computer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Little
Like
terrible little laptop and
barely passed specs for the company I was
right.
working for at the time. Now that's the benefit. That's another reason why I wanted to talk about like the platforms because that's the difference between working on like Amazing Talker, right? Or something like that. That's the difference between those platforms and working for a company,
Right.
one of those international companies that's different because you can get away with different setups,
Right. Yep.
right? Because there's different requirements. So that's a big hindrance for a lot of teachers is the technology, the tech requirements.
Right.
I think that would be a very good one. Where to source them, where to get them
Yep.
on the cheap,
We
things
can
like that.
even we could even get into like specific brands or specific
Mm-mm.
products we
Uh,
100% recommend,
or
you
things
know,
that I've learned with my brownout situation where I bought
right?
like my current laptop. I love it. Don't get
Hmm.
me wrong. And then I moved to an area that was more brownout challenged than where I started when I bought it. And now I'm second guessing that move.
Right.
And not
I
because
have
the
one,
laptop's bad. It's just
right.
the
The battery,
requirements for the
the
battery is
batteries.
different.
Yeah.
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 Which means I had to get a completely a new tech setup for power backup,
Right. Yeah. But
so
don't give away everything right now.
I'm
Don't
not,
give
but
away.
like it's like these are some really good topics though. And I think
Yeah.
we've learned that what direction we want to go in.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, what makes me, we're going to have to think on the monthly schedule. I do like the monthly schedule just because I'm analytical like that. But I
Hmm.
also like starting the month as a roundtable, ending as a recap, and having the center being maybe
Do you
two
mean like
topics.
starting the month with like a short little thing and then we still have our normal weekly, still the same 4 or 5 weekly episodes in the month?
No, I'm talking about like the first episode being like that roundtable type of episode that's a little
Hmm.
shorter, kind of like opening the month with that topic with the
Hmm.
experts in that field, then having two middle ones, and then we're going to end with art like this. We'll end the month as a recap.
I don't think we get enough of the other stuff doing it that way, but we'll discuss that.
Mm.
We'll
Or
discuss that.
maybe we could make
We'll
it
go to
a
battle. We'll go to
2 or 3 month.
battle over it.
Yeah, stuff we need to talk about. Anyways, I
Yep.
like the ideas,
Yep.
to be honest.
All right.
You know
Good.
what we do need to do is we need to start treating it more like a business, I think, where we need to not in
We
our
got to get people
interaction.
scheduled
That's what I
earlier.
mean. I think
Yeah.
we need to nail down a little bit more like what we want, get people scheduled, and get a couple in the bank
Right. Right.
because we take time off or we're busy. Because you and I do
Right.
have very heavy teaching, and I have teaching and coaching schedules. So,
Right.
because, you know,
Yep.
both of us teach an insane amount, we have very loyal students. So we're in higher demand. So we're very booked out. And then I also do coaching, and you do some other stuff as well. So
Mhm.
it's it's a hectic schedule for us. So I
Yep.
think we need to do that so we can nail down some times.
Yep. I do too.
One
I do
thing I
too.
don't want to change. Can you guess what it is?
Uh,
The fun dynamic that you and I have, where we're laid back
oh
and it's not
yeah.
stuffy. Come on, that was like your
Right.
whole thing when we first started that you wanted to keep. Come on now. Go
Didn't
pick
even
up
think
with
of
me,
it.
Jay. Go get some
I
coffee.
thought that was a given, though. I thought that we did, that wasn't even up for discussion. That was
It's
we got to
not, but
keep
I
that.
I wanted to make sure that you realized that. I actually enjoyed that a lot. I'm surprised
Yeah.
though. You know me, I'm very like, plan, plan, plan. So I'm
Me
actually
too.
kind of surprised that I
Me
like that.
too. I'm like that too.
I'm very the man who wanted to just get on and go, and I had to hold you
Let's
back
go.
2 weeks.
Let's go. Yeah, gosh, man, I'm just like, God, I'm ready to go now in 2 weeks. I don't know.
I mean, you were chomping at the bit big time. And
Right.
I'm like, no, no,
Right.
no, no. I got to clear off some stuff off my schedule. Wait.
You know, I wanted to do something like this because social media has just been beat to death by teachers. It's just, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. And there are lots of other educational podcasts, but nothing like this, what we're doing. Now, it's a little bit different. It's a little more realistic. This is what's happening. This is what people are doing right now.
Well, this is our actual opinions. Take it or leave it.
Right, right,
I mean, I'm not trying to be antagonistic or anything. I'm just saying, if
right.
we're not
Yep.
your flavor, then, there's others. But I also think that I do like that we let people plug their business, which I
A
think they
hundred
should.
percent.
I,
Yep.
I think they should, because people should know what they're doing. Um, what I like is that it's not all about one thing. Like
Right,
it's only teachers going solo, or it's only for like,
right.
materials, or it's only for teaching you how to run your business. I kind of like it's more of like the holistic rounded approach where we do a little bit of the business side, the parent side, the teacher side. And
We're a variety show, folks.
well, there, now I'm sitting here going, name change. The Learning Lab variety show,
Right,
not podcast.
right. Skits instead of shows. We call them
Oh,
skits.
skits. There you go. The Learning Lab skits.
All right.
We gotta
All right.
go.
Well,
This could take forever. We talk forever.
I know, I know. You guys have no idea how long the before recording and the after recording goes. You have
I
no
made sure
idea.
to turn that off because this would have been like, wow.
Oh, are we off now?
But we're on. Could you imagine if it
Okay.
turned off? I would be so mad. No, like I actually turned it on. I turned off the recording when we first came on for the first hour, y'all. Just so you know, y'all, it was an hour. Before we decided, oh yeah, we're here to do something.
Right, right, right. All right. Let's wrap this up then, I think.
So what do you think the outcome's been for today?
Well, we got some like hindsight on the what we've done and I'm looking forward to, the past is great, but I'm looking forward to how this whole thing evolves.
Hmm.
And even if we say one thing on 1 January, well, we're not stupid. We will change as needed.
I do like that we're not set. I like having the schedule. I like having the outlines. I like that we had like that minimal direction because
Mhm.
it wasn't it wasn't so rigid to the point where we needed to edit. Like the one for Nash, it was originally more in it was in the same field but a different direction, and we
Right.
quickly updated it for the type of
Mhm.
guests that we had. So I
Right.
liked that. Um, I think that some of the structure that we learned in the last few lessons really helped the lessons. Haha,
Yeah.
listen to me, podcast. I think that worked out really well.
And what I do want to do is I want to make sure that if it's relevant, that the guests can share their screen when they're
Yeah.
talking about something. And also, if it makes sense, I want to keep I did the with Xavier from Koala Go. This was the first time I did it where I really pushed him with some difficult questions. I want to keep doing that if it makes sense. I don't
Mhm.
want to embarrass anybody or put them on the spot, but there's some things that I think that people should hear, and
I
I want to
agree.
do
And,
that.
and that particular podcast, I sat more in the background on that one a little bit more because you had some really good stuff. And I was like, go for it, your show. You did really well in that one. I really liked it a lot. And that's the other
Thank you.
thing I like about our dynamic is that neither one of us is like, this is my show or I need to be
Right,
in ahead of the other person. Or it's like, if you've got some good stuff going on, have at it, you know?
right. Tear it up. Tear it
Right?
up.
Tear it up. I think
Okay.
we share pretty well, so I think that's really
Mhm.
cool. That's what I
Yep.
think. Yeah, I'm excited for the new year. So we're gonna. This is this is for tomorrow, right? The 19th.
Yeah, we're going to post this tomorrow night.
Okay. Yeah. So everybody watching this 18th for us right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be that, and so we will come back. I think we need to do another one when we come back when we open a season. So I think we should end the season. I think a new year, new season.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna agree on that one. I think when we come back, we should do an opening like this to discuss what we're going to talk about. And we're
I think
back.
we're going to do a new one on the 2nd. Are you available the 2nd of January?
I should be. Yeah,
Okay.
I should
All
be.
right.
The second. When is the second?
We can even record it that morning. That's fine.
Oh yeah. Okay. The second is a Thursday. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
do a quick one in the morning to get us
Okay.
started, and maybe this next 2 weeks we can hash out what 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 we've talked about today
Mhm.
and get some people lined up so we can work out a schedule.
Okay. Perfect.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks,
Cool.
Nichole. I've enjoyed it. Happy New
Oh,
Year and Merry Christmas.
yes, thank you. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to you and everybody watching us. Thank you for the support. Share, 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 like, and we look forward to seeing you guys next year, next season,
Yeah,
season 2.
thanks.
Bye bye, you guys.